How's it going? Mr. Shockner again. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to unclog a sink. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make our first steps, which would be to potentially use a plunger. If your sink is not draining correctly, you can take a plunger. I would recommend taking this little guy out first. Oftentimes there could be hair built up on this thing or other gunk, and so if you get that off, sometimes that's going to fix your problem. If that's not the problem, you can take your plunger, put it right over the drain, and then push. You want to make sure you get a good seal around the sink and push, and that's going to push your clog through. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So the next step I'm going to show you, underneath the sink is something called a P-trap. It looks kind of like this. This isn't exactly right, but what happens is the water drains into this trap, okay? And when it reaches the level of this, it can drain out. If you have hair or other gunk built up in the trap, it can actually stop the water from draining. So what you can do is you can take this piece out and take it out and clean it, and it'll allow water to run through. It's going to have water in it because what that water in there does is it blocks sewer gases from coming back through and stinking up your bathroom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the bottom of the sink here. I have with me a trusty bucket to catch the water that is going to come out. I'm going to put that underneath my P-trap. And I have a set of pliers. You can use a big wrench if you need to. Most of the time these things are hand tight, so they're not tight enough to need this, but I have them with me just in case. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to turn the water off. So I have a valve here for the cold water and another valve over here for the hot water. And I'm just turning them off so that nobody accidentally turns the water on while I'm doing this and then floods my bathroom. So right now the water will not turn on. I'll test it. As I turn the knobs, the water doesn't turn on. Next thing I'm going to do is with my bucket underneath here, to catch the water whenever it comes out, I'm going to unscrew my P-trap. This one's loose enough I can just do it by hand. Whenever it's completely unscrewed, it'll come off just like this. And I'll show you. Now this one's pretty clean, okay, I don't have any major clogs, but you can see that there's some hair and some gunk inside there. So I could clean that right out with a rag. I could take a rag and put it through and pull it through both sides. I can take it to another sink and rinse it out like I would any other dish, okay? And then I would just bring it back, okay? And since there's no water in it anymore, I don't need the bucket. I'm just going to line it right back up to where it was. And I'm going to retighten the connections to it, just like this. And they don't need to be tightened with a wrench. They shouldn't need to be tightened with a wrench. Just hand tight is usually good enough. Okay, once I have it on, I'm going to turn my water back on, just like this. Just in case, I'm going to put my bucket underneath and I'm going to run a test to make sure that there's no leaks in that. And it's also going to fill the trap up with water to make sure that the sewer gases aren't coming back into my house. Okay, a little bit of a test, and I'm finding that there are no leaks, so it's all done. And that's how you fix a clog in your sink. Have a great day, guys.